Hi children and hi everyone. In previous videos I explained about the Gauss law and applications of Gauss law. So in the previous video, electric field intensity due to the uniformly charged shell, spherical shell. For that video explained very clearly, that's important question. So in this video I am going to explain one more application of Gauss's law. So here what I explained about the Gauss law and its applications I will mention in my description of this video. So that's why you have to watch all of them if you don't saw up to now here. So children, here in this case, what is the electric field intensity due to an infinite plane sheet? So that is the topic we are going to discuss now. Here, before going to that, you must know about the three things. The first thing is what is Gauss's law, next thing is what is mean by surface charge density, and third one is what is electric field intensity. So you must know about these three things, then only you can understand this topic very clearly. The first thing is what? First thing is what is Gauss's law. Second is electric field intensity. Electric field intensity. And third one is what? Here Gauss law, electric field intensity, and third one is surface charge density. Surface charge density. So if you know about these three things, then we can go for the topic. So I clearly explained these three things in every video, previous videos. What is Gauss law? This is Gauss law. What is that? Pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. Pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. Here pi is the electric flux and Q is the net charge of a closed surface. Pi is the electric flux and Q is the net charge of a closed surface. The Gauss's law can be defined as the flux of a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times of the net charge of the same closed surface, that is called Gauss's law. And second thing is here surface charge density. Sigma is equals to Q by S. This is the surface charge density. Sigma is equals to Q by S. Here the charge available in particular surface area, that should be called surface charge density. The charge available in particular area is called surface charge density. That should be shown with the letter sigma, and Q is the charge and S is the surface area. In one of the video of this playlist, so I created one playlist for electric field and charges regarding that chapter. Every video should be in that only. In that playlist I explained distribution of charge. In that I clearly explained about the what is the linear charge density and what is the surface charge density and what is the cubical charge density. So you must watch it once. So here now this is the sigma is equals to Q by S. This is what we call surface charge density. And now what is mean by electric field intensity? Electric field intensity is nothing but how we can define E is equals to F by Q. Electric field intensity at particular the force experienced. Electric field intensity is nothing but force experienced by the charge at a point in the field. That is what we call electric field intensity. What is the first one? Gauss's law. The electric flux passing through a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times of net charge of the same closed surface, that is called Gauss law. And what is surface charge density? The charge available in particular area is called surface charge density. That should be shown with symbol sigma. And now what is electric field intensity? Electric field intensity is nothing but the force experienced by the charge in particular electric field. So that should be what we call electric field intensity. So now here I am going to the top here now clearly. So today's topic is today's topic here, electric field intensity due to an infinite plane sheet of charge. What you have to find? Electric field intensity due to an infinite plane sheet of charge. Clear? By using Gauss law, we have to derive the expression for electric field intensity due to an infinite plane sheet of charge. So here on board one diagram it is there. So look at the diagram. This is the what I am showing, P Y Q X. P Y Q X. That is the plane sheet. I am drawing the boundaries here. This is the, just look at this one where I am drawing. So this is what? A plane sheet. So that is uniformly distributed. I am taking that charge is positive charge. That is what? Positive charge. Clear, children? So again I am drawing diagram here simply. This is the one plane sheet. What is that? One plane sheet. So that should be uniformly distributed with positive charge. Clear? Up to now very clear, children. We have one plane sheet, it is there. One plane sheet is there. Clear? So after that, here to explain the electric field intensity at a point P. This is the point P here. This is the point P. At this point P, we have to explain the electric field intensity. For that, I am imagine one Gaussian surface. One Gaussian surface. So this is the Gaussian surface. That is should be here cylindrical Gaussian surface. What we are taken? Cylindrical Gaussian surface. So this is the point P. At this point P, we have to measure the electric field intensity. Clear, children? So the diagram what it is there, I am again simply explaining that. So this is what P Y Q P X. This is the one plane sheet of charge positive, uniformly distributed. So here the entire what you are finding in white color, that should be taken as the distribution of charge. Clear? And now this is what? A cylindrical Gaussian surface. Cylindrical Gaussian surface. At which point we have to measure the electric field intensity. To explain that, we have to construct the one Gaussian surface, and that Gaussian surface must be always a closed surface. So because we are using the Gauss law, that's why we have to construct one Gaussian surface. That's why here in this case, now what we are finding, this is the P Y Q X. It is the infinite plane sheet of charge, and at this point P, this is the point P here. At this point you have to find out the electric field intensity. So for that, we are constructing one cylindrical Gaussian surface. One cylindrical Gaussian surface. So here now I am taking, that is the cylinder surface must be along the x-axis. So I am taking, that is should be like it is x-axis. If you can go for three-dimensional, this is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis, and this one is the z-axis. Now in this case, the flux is, we are explaining the flux with respect of x-axis only. That means there is no flux along the y-axis and z-axis. Children, got my point? So here to explain the electric field intensity, we are constructed the one Gaussian surface, that is cylindrical, and that cylindrical Gaussian surface is along the x-axis. That's why the flux will be along the x-axis only. There is no flux along the y, and if you can take one more axis z, there is no flux through the y and z axis. Simply that should be along the only x-axis we are taking. Clear? So now here, now look at this one diagram very carefully. So just now I am drawing here only cylindrical surface. This is the cylindrical surface. At the cylindrical surface, what I am taking, this is the point B here. At this point, electric field should be radially outward. Radially outward. I am showing that only here. This is the electric field intensity that should be radially outward. Why it is radially outward? The charge what we are taken, that is the positive charge. For positive charge, the electric field intensity is always radially outwards. That's why here E is I am showing like that. And here also same thing. The electric field is radially outwards. So that's why I am showing here. This is the electric field radially outwards. So again now here the Gaussian surfaces. The cylindrical Gaussian surface should be divided into now here 4 parts. Now this is the ds1 and this is the ds2 and this entire thing is ds3. What is that? This is ds3 and now this is the ds4. Clear children? The cylindrical Gaussian surface what we have taken, that should be now divided into 4 parts: ds1, ds2, ds3 and ds4. Watch carefully here. This is what I am telling. This is the ds3. That means this portion is what? The surface is what? ds3. And the bottom surface what we take? That is ds4. This is what? ds4. And this is the ds3. And at this end what I am taking now, this is the ds1. What is that? ds1. And this is ds2. Clear children? No need to confuse, very simple. The cylindrical Gaussian surface what we are taken, that should be here 4 parts: the top surface and bottom surface. Those should be, top should be taken as ds3 and bottom should be taken as ds4. And this one is ds1, this one is ds1 and this surface is ds2. In this case you have to observe ds1 and ds2 how they are with the electric field direction, and ds3 and ds4 how they are with the direction of, just you have compare the directions of ds1 ds2 with the direction of electric field, and you have to compare the direction of ds3 and ds4 along with the E. So let us check here. Just I am showing here clearly again. So this is the what we take, cylindrical Gaussian surface. So this is what electric field and this is what ds1. How these two are parallel, that's why angle is what? 0. And this is what? ds2 and this is what? electric field direction. Now angle is 0. Clear? And now this is what? ds3 and this is what? ds4. And ds3 is upward and electric field is like this. How much angle is there? 90 degrees. Clear? And now ds4 is in downwards. And electric field is in this direction. How much angle is there? 90 degrees. Clear? That means ds1 and ds2 both are in the direction of electric field, but ds3 and ds4 are in perpendicular to the direction of electric field. Clear? Now we want to find out the electric flux for ds1, ds2, ds3 and ds4. Let us check where we have electric flux and where do not have electric flux. So already we know that look here, we have formula is there. What is that? Electric flux is equals to closed integral E dot ds. What is that? Closed integral E dot ds. So that means what? Pi is equals to closed integral EDS cos theta. This is the formula to find out the electric flux. Pi is equals to closed integral E dot ds, that implies pi is equals to closed integral EDS cos theta. Clear? So we have to apply this formula for ds1, ds2, ds3, ds4. So already what I am telling here, ds3 and ds4 how they are with the electric field? How they are? Perpendicular. That's why here the flux through ds3 and ds4 is 0. Flux through ds3 and ds4 is 0. Why? Because that is what you write? pi is equals to closed integral EDS cos theta. That means EDS, how much angle? What is the angle between DS3 and E? 90 degrees. And what is the angle between E and DS4? 90 degrees. So cos 90 value is what? Cos 90 value is what? 0. That's why what we say, the flux through the DS3 and DS4 is 0. This is the first important point here. Clear? After that, now I am applying for DS1. For DS1, again same formula, pi is equals to closed integral EDS. Here what is the angle there? Both are parallel. That's why what do you write? Cos 0. What do you write? Cos 0. Cos 0 means what? 1. That implies EDS. That means what you get? Pi is equals to what you get? ES. Now I am taking this is the pi 1. Clear? Here what we say? E is the constant. Then what do you write? E integral ds. This should be cancelled. What you get? S. S is what? Surface area. Clear? That's why here pi 1 is equals to ES. I am taking, it is the equation number for 1. And similarly now here for DS2 also we can write same thing. Here again what you write? Pi 2 is equals to closed integral EDS cos 0. I told you already what is that? DS2 and E both are in parallel. That's why angle is 0. Then pi 2 is equals to what do you write? Closed integral EDS. Again what do you get? Same thing. Pi 2 is equals to what do you get? E into S. Now this is equation number 2. Clear children? So after that, now we have to write the total flux. Total flux. That means pi is equals to pi 1 plus pi 2. That means what? Pi is equals to pi 1 value is what? ES. And pi 2 value also ES. Then what do you get? Pi is equals to 2ES. So this is the total flux. Total flux. Clear? Total flux of the infinite plane sheet. So here what is pi? Flux. But according to Gauss law what do we know? According to Gauss law what do you know? Pi is equals to what, right? Q by epsilon naught. What do you write? Pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. So children, for space I am erasing this part here. Just pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. So substitute here, what is pi? Pi is equals to 2s, and there is what is pi? Q by epsilon naught. Therefore I am writing here, instead of pi what you write? Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught is equals to 2es. What is that? 2es. So that's why here what do you write? E is equals to what do you write? Q by epsilon naught into 2s. Epsilon naught into 2s. That means I am writing here E is equals to Q by S. Q by S into 1 by 2 epsilon naught. Clear? Q by epsilon naught is equals to 2E into S. We want to derive for E only. That's why we are bringing 2S this side. Then Q by epsilon naught into 2 into S. Then what you get? E is equals to Q by S into 1 by 2 epsilon naught. So then what we get? Then E is equals to what is meant by Q by S? I am starting on, I told you what is that? Charge available in particular area. What do we call? Surface charge density. Then E is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So this is the electric field intensity. Electric field intensity due to an infinite plane sheet of charge. So children, so again you can watch it. Simple, very easy thing, but important one. What is Gauss law? The flux passes through any closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times of the net charge of the same closed surface. That is what we call flux. How we can show the mathematical form of Gauss law? Pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. So in this case what you have? An infinite plane sheet of charge plus positive charge. So now this is here we are taken what I am showing. This is X, P, Y and Q. X, P, Y, Q. It is the infinite plane sheet. Clear? That should be positively charged. To explain the electric field intensity, we are constructing one Gaussian surface. What are you constructing? One Gaussian surface. Here the cylindrical Gaussian surface must be along the x-axis. That's why the flux is along through only x-axis only. There is no flux along the y and z axis. It's very clear. After that, here now, so what I'm saying, A, B, C, D. What we are showing here? A, B, C, D. Clear? There is here AB is nothing but DS3. AB is nothing but DS3. And CD is nothing but DS4, and AD is nothing but DS2, and BC is nothing but DS1. So that means again the cylindrical Gaussian surface is taken as the 4 parts: DS1, DS2, DS3, DS4. In this case, what you have to take, we are taken the plane sheet is uniformly charged. That should be with positive charge. That's why the electric field is radially outward along the x-axis. So it is the radially outward I am showing here, and here also showing radially outward. And now here the general formula for flux is what? Pi is equals to closed integral E dot ds, then pi is equals to closed integral E ds cos theta, because flux is the scalar quantity. That's why we can write E ds cos theta. And in this case, simply you have to remind ds3 and ds4 how they are with the E. ds3 and ds4 perpendicular to the E. That's why the angle will be 90 degrees. The angle will be 90 degrees. That's why here there is no flux passes through the along with ds3 and ds4. We are showing like that. The flux through ds3 and ds4 is 0, because pi is equals to cos integral E ds cos theta. Here angle is how much? The angle between ds3 and E is 90, and ds4 and E also 90. That's what we write pi is equals to 0, because constant is 0. Now after that we are writing for ds1. Here ds1 is parallel to the E. Then for ds1 is equals to what, right? Pi 1 is equals to closed integral E ds cos 0, because both are in parallel. That's what you get. For flux is for ds1 is what? Es. Similarly for ds2 also we are getting same thing, Es. So the total flux is now what? Pi is equals to pi 1 plus pi 2. That means pi is equals to Es plus Es, then pi is equals to Es. So this is the flux, total flux through the Gaussian surface. And now here, according to Gauss law, what right? According to Gauss law, pi is equals to q by epsilon naught. That's why instead of this pi, what you are writing? Q by epsilon naught is equals to 2Es. From that, what you write? E is equals to q by epsilon naught 2Es. Then what you get? Here E is equals to q by s into 1 by 2 epsilon naught, and E is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Here q by s is the surface charge. Then see, that's why I am writing E is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So children, this is about the electric field intensity due to an infinite plane sheet of charge. So I hope you understand. If you can understand this topic, like, share and comment the video. So to support my videos and to get the always you want to get the notifications from my channel, for that you have to must subscribe my channel. Children, bye, take care. We will meet in the next video with some other topic. Bye, take care.